Latest group of illegal immigrants arrived in New York to a hero's welcome. Well-wishers there, you can see, shaking hands, greeting them. Depending on what camera angle you have, people were handing them money from the crowd. The city's mayor says it's inhumane to bus illegal immigrants to his city, the Big Apple, and Governor Greg Abbott should be held accountable.
I am deeply contemplating taking a busload of New Yorkers to go to Texas and do some good old-fashioned door knocking because we have to, for the good of America, we have to get him out of office.
We'll get to Abbott's response in a minute, but Abbott's strategy is working. After years of complaining about the Biden administration's open border policy, Abbott's finally getting national attention. Consider this. The D.C. mayor complained and asked for the National Guard when roughly 5,100 illegal immigrants were bused from Texas to D.C. 4,000 have arrived in New York since April. The New York mayor complained about the first busloads of roughly 100 people. 4,000 cross the Rio Grande into Texas every single day. Many, if not a majority, are released by the Border Patrol into cities all across the state of Texas, like Rio Grande City in South Texas, where Joel Villarreal is the mayor. Mayor, good to see you. Is there a little bit of a chuckle when you hear the outrage of people, of mayors, that buses are dropping off immigrants in their city?
Well, no, because, I mean, this is precisely why we have a broken immigration system. At this point, we have two parties that unfortunately are not addressing the larger picture here, which is long-term solutions. Of course, we need to have a short-term solution as well, but it affects us both. I mean, it affects the state, it affects the national level, it affects us here locally, but we need a comprehensive immigration plan to address this. Now, it all depends on what point of the spectrum you're at. I mean, consider this, we are at extremes. At one extreme, we have catch and release, and without the proper vetting, we need to make sure that we vet these individuals, especially we're gonna let them into the country. On the other extreme, we have family separations, and with, in some cases, never to be reunited. So where is that common ground? And right now, it's in full display. We have Democrat governor, we have, Republican governor, Democrat mayors, and now they're at it. And unfortunately, we as Americans lose because at the end of the day, it is not gonna get resolved. Unfortunately, we have not had comprehensive immigration reform in over 30 plus years.
Yeah, no,
now. They're both of them are right, by the way. Both of them have some credibility and both are right, but they're also wrong as well. Keep this in mind. We need a national plan to address it. If we're gonna allow individuals to come into this country, we need to have a plan. Make sure that maybe incentivize municipalities, incentivize states. Now, honestly, we should not be targeting just New York and Washington, D.C. either. We should spread the wealth. And what I mean by that is we should have a plan, work with other states, other municipalities, and work with the president of the United States.
Unfortunately, it's funny, Mayor, all the things you're saying are great. Nobody's willing to do it. You point out they've been trying to, since almost when I was born, to have some kind of comprehensive immigration reform. Nobody will make a deal. Unfortunately, things are political, and then you're caught in the middle of your city as well. I've been through it. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to meet when I was down on the border, but I'm just thinking from a practical standpoint, having thousands of people every day dropped off, or hundreds of people dropped off every day in Rio Grande City, at some point, you just can't deal with it. Is it a little bit upsetting to you that the mayors in these other cities are acting as though it's such an imposition?
We don't have the resources. Absolutely, we don't. Let's be frank. Let's call a spade a spade. We do not have the resources to address this at this point. Again, you're going to need housing. You're going to need medical attention in some cases. You need food and water in some cases, depending on what their needs are. And we've been dealing with this without federal financial resources for decades. Now, I don't wish it upon anyone. However, this is the opportunity for those mayors to bring it up to at a larger platform. They do have the budgets to address this. I don't have a budget to be able to deal with this. However, we end up making ends meet here, and unfortunately, it's on the backs of our taxpayers. Now, and I'm not saying, please don't misconstrue the meaning, because rhetoric and reality on the U.S.-Mexico border, unfortunately, is misconstrued. Just because I'm saying that does not mean that I'm against immigration.
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
look, I understand. And you're caught in the middle with family members who have people going back and forth and the like. Mayor, it's always good to see you. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
No, we appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.